The word mural comes from the French word for wall. A mural can be painted right onto the wall's surface. It can also be painted on a panel that is fixed to the wall. A mural that is painted on wet plaster is called a fresco. A fresco is the technique used on the Sistine Chapel, which is full of murals. Here is one view of the historic paintings by the famous Michelangelo, who had to paint on a scaffold while lying on his back. What is the significance of murals? Murals are presumed to be the oldest human art form, as cave paintings at numerous ancient human settlements suggest, and can be found all over the earth. According to art historians, mural paintings date back at least 40,000 years. There have been murals on walls throughout the world for as long as there have been people on earth. People scratched them, carved them, etched them, and painted them. The history of mural painting is rich and varied. Because of murals, we now have priceless knowledge of our history and predecessors, and these murals hold great significance for mankind as they depicted life, activities, everyday scenery, and usually religious traditions at the time they were created, in giving us priceless look at the diversity of cultures during different periods. Murals were also a form of storytelling and were used since biblical times to educate the public before books were widely available. Books were reserved for only the wealthy and privileged. Murals and works of art are considered a text that we read at a different skill set than words on a page. In a society with lots of images, it's important to be able to decode or read visual text. This helps us have cultural literacy. As the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. It requires spending time with the text to read it and understand what's happening. Reading visual text can begin with a conversation starting with, "What's happening in this picture?" or "What do you see?" Murals are also a way of making art accessible by taking it to the public rather than having to go into a museum or art gallery. An interesting evolution continues in the world of murals. New ones are continually being commissioned and created, while old ones are constantly being rediscovered and restored. Through this process, our history and culture is preserved so people in the future can see what is happening during our times and what life was like. Good mural artists will consider their mural in relation to the mural's natural or architectural setting, allowing the piece to become an aesthetic, social, and most importantly, cultural artifact. A cultural artifact is a term used in the social sciences, particularly anthropology, ethnology, and sociology, for anything created by humans, which gives us information about the culture of its creator and users. Why are murals important in a community? Murals build a sense of community. They make it welcoming and walkable, and they make you want to go there. While the end products, the works of public art, are always beautiful, their deeper value lies in the conversations we create, the connections we build, and the legacy of relationships we foster along the way, often with transformative results. The experience of art moves us from the everyday into the realm of possibility, and that goes for individuals, communities, systems, the city, and murals art's own practice. Santa Ana is a community rich with murals. The following is a visual tour taken earlier this year by a photographer and submitted to the Orange County Register. The murals in Santa Ana connect us and reflect our culture and history while creating an inviting place to visit and engage with and in the community. The murals add to the rich arts and culture in downtown Santa Ana and create in themselves a destination and experience for the viewers. Artist Carlos Aguilar speaks to Fullerton College students about his mural of Mexican-American veterans in the Logan neighborhood of Santa Ana. Aguilar studied graphic design at Saddleback College. He added a few murals to the streets of Santa Ana since he moved there in 2005. But in 2012, he got a vision for something bigger. This mural took 4 years to complete. With this, Aguilar said, pointing up at his mural with 2 worn paintbrushes, I not only get to be part of this neighborhood's history, but I also get to bring history back to this community. Aguilar came to the U.S. in the trunk of a car after his mother fled a troubled marriage in Mexico. She left her family to start a new life and find work, and had to leave Aguilar with relatives. 2 years later, she sent for her son, who crossed the border in the trunk of his uncle's car. Aguilar didn't know English his first year in school in Mission Viejo, so he'd spend time sketching everything he saw. This was his way of acquiring language through his drawings. I was always drawn to art, he said. That's where I found my peace. The massive mural at Washington Avenue and Custer Street, Among Heroes, has become more than a work of art. It's now a gathering place for veterans and their family members, a classroom for college students, and a reflection of American history that's often overlooked. Here's a close-up of mural detail. Santa Ana High School students created a mural in the NJROTC building celebrating military service. You should check it out. You can do a walking tour of the murals in Santa Ana. The following murals are found throughout the downtown within walking distance of Santa Ana High School. While murals are not new to Santa Ana High School, there's a new one being created that's very visible and designed by a very special artist, linking Santa Ana High School into the downtown mural culture of the city. Dionisio Ceballos will be a familiar figure for the next 2 or 3 months at Santa Ana High School. Growing up, the artist had aspirations to be an architect or a filmmaker, but with art, something clicked. As Dionisio Ceballos explains, the use of color and refreshing palette is the main statement of the mural. It is a tapestry with movement and rhythm to uplift the students and provide them with a cultural context open for interpretation. The central imagery of the maguey cactus is an icon of Mexican culture. The flowing strokes expand into the rest of the mural to inspire dynamism and movement. The maguey is filled with the Talavera designs, which evoke ideas of the Spanish historical precedent, rendered with a contemporary treatment. The sun and the moon are on opposite sides of the mural, natural elements that depict a sense of cycle. Seen here in a 3D rendering, the mural is also meant to amplify the dialogue between the two opposites of the sun and the moon, the warm and the cool. The muralist suggests 2 possible icons reflecting imagery of pre-Hispanic iconography. He plans to include other possible additions of symbols and iconography of Hispanic heritage, representative of flora and fauna, food, engraved art, and other pre-Hispanic iconography. Dionisio Ceballos applies some of the first brushstrokes on a 1,200 square foot mural reflecting Mexican heritage spanning over 5 16 1200-foot high walls at Santa Ana High. He painted the artwork in the movie Frida. A butterfly is on the left. Dionisio Ceballos is known for his colorful abstracts and mural work. When he won an Emmy for his digital art and animations. Artist Dionisio Ceballos wants his Santa Ana High mural to be uplifting and to make the students feel proud and empowered. If he makes a correction on the 1,200-foot square mural, it could cost him days. Dionisio's approach to art is a viscera and intuitive. The Mexico native is self-taught. The fourth quarter of the process is the funniest, he says. That's when I crossed the dark night of the soul. Here are shown the hands of a painter with roots in Mexico. He specializes in extracting the mystical. Dionisios is shown here speaking with Ariana Guzman, a freshman, about the mural idea that emphasizes Santa Ana High School students' energy and athleticism. This freshman is an aspiring artist. The life of an artist is sometimes lonely. Dionisio Ceballos will work into the night in solitude at times at Santa Ana High. Look at all that history. It, the mural, brings everything to life, Vincent Gonzalez, district safety officer, says as he stops to look at the mural at his alma mater, Santa Ana High, founded in 1889. The artist advises Santa Ana High students to turn limitations into enhancements. Here, Dionisios shows several colorful, multi-layered works at the school and encourages all students to ask him questions. What questions would you ask the muralist Dionisio Ceballos?